Going on, team? Matt here from PT Profit Leverage and Lifestyle Show. Here for another awesome episode with you. I'm getting some really good feedback, team, from my other episodes that we've been doing. We've been having a few guest speakers come on board, which is awesome. So I'm glad that you guys are loving the different perspective. But I'm back for a solo episode today. So this one is going to be a juicy one. We're going to talk about why I decided to close my gym. So I'm going to give you guys a bit of an insight into what it's like to actually buy your gym. And yeah, I can even go into how much it really costs to manage a gym, because my gym was only quite small. And a lot of personal trainers have this inspiration and motivation to open their own gym, which is all well and good. I had the same aspirations. Before I was even a PT, I actually was looking at franchise gyms, wanted to buy my own gym. I was always looking for an investment opportunity. I tried drop shipping in the past, FBA through Amazon, and I was like, yeah, I need to own my own gym. At the time, I was looking at a group fitness gym. Fitstop, actually, Fitstop PLC, which is kind of closed down now, but Fitstop was on the radar back then. But, franchises these days are, $500,000 compared to, when I bought my gym, I think it cost me like 80K cash. Paid my gym in cash. 80 grand, I think it cost me to open my gym. Like including the fit out, everything. Like I didn't buy the building or anything. But anyway, so I'm going to go through what it was actually like and why I actually decided to close down my facility. So let's just quickly go back and recap. For those who haven't heard this story before, I'm going to briefly share how I actually got to the point of owning my own gym so quickly, because I've only been a PT for 4 years and I had a gym for 3 of them. So not many PTs can say they opened their own gym after less than a year of being in the fitness industry. So that happened pretty fast. So I started at an Anytime Fitness Club, and I absolutely crushed it when I first started. So I got fully booked in 2 weeks. So there was about 35, 40 sessions per week after 2 weeks. Fast forward another couple of weeks, I hired 2 trainers. So I had one, and then 2 weeks later, I hired another one. I had 2 trainers. Within 3 months, we were doing 100+ sessions per week between the 3 of us. Now expanded into a Jets facility, hired another 2 trainers, and got them fully booked as well. So we're doing about 150 sessions a week at this stage. And then things became a bit toxic at the Anytime Fitness environment. Long story short, I'm not going to go into too much detail for this part because I want to mainly talk about the gym part. I fired one of my trainers for being toxic, which therefore turned into the club manager being toxic, which therefore wanted myself to get out of there. And essentially, the club manager essentially ganged up on me with my trainers that I fired against me, and she forced me to give clients to my trainers that I fired to try and keep them around. Both of those trainers actually aren't in the industry anymore, as far as I know. And if they are, good luck. Hopefully you're doing well. As far as I know, I don't think they did too well from memory. But needless to say, no regrets on that experience. It obviously one thing led to another. So essentially, how this came about is, as I said, it was a toxic environment, and I wanted to get out. I wanted to leave. I wanted to take my clients with me, and I wanted to move on. So anyway, what I did was I was kind of looking for other opportunities, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I can just open my own gym nearby in the community. Like I grew up around that area as well, so I had a good reputation. So I was looking at gyms, hadn't quite signed the lease just yet, but I wanted to give my notice to make sure everything was completely fine. So I had to give 12 weeks notice. Anyway, I had the conversation with the club manager. I said, look, I hate the environment. It's toxic. It's to you guys against me, which is fine, but I'm out. I told my clients that I was leaving and that I was opening my own gym. So anyway, I gave the notice, I signed the lease, and I was like, cool, I've got 12 weeks to get it all sorted, get the fit out done, etc., etc. So I was obviously brand new to this, so I was trying to organize the fit out on my own, get equipment, etc., etc. Anyway, club manager had an issue with this, of course. She didn't know I was actually opening a gym, but she cracked the shits, and essentially called a meeting with me that I couldn't make in time. And I told her I wouldn't be able to make it that time, I could make it at a different time. Anyway, she just left a letter on my desk to say I was terminated immediately and I had until the end of the week to get out of the club. And that was it. So I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, I don't even know what to do. I've got nowhere to go. I only just signed the lease. Got nowhere to train my clients. And I didn't know what to do. So what I did was, that was literally on the Friday afternoon. What I did that afternoon, I called my mum and dad, and I said, "Hey, this is what's happened. I need somebody to train my clients because I live at Narangba. Can I use your garage and I'll buy some equipment and I'll train them there until my gym is ready?" Which was meant to be 3 months away. So what I did was I bought everything they had in stock in gym equipment, everything I could, and I picked it up on the Saturday. I had a trailer and a ute. Actually, I borrowed my wife's sister's ute and picked it up, set up the gym in my parents' garage, and until the fit out was done, which is about a month later, and then I went to the gym and took, like, so many clients followed me. They cancelled with Anytime Fitness. I opened literally 10 meters from them, and as you can imagine, I wasn't too pleased with that. But at the end of the day, a bit of karma went their way. And anyway, and then I started the gym. So I started the gym. It's only a small boutique little studio, mainly for one-on-one personal training, but it was 24/7 as well. We had group classes. So this is what it's actually like and how much it actually costs. So I'm sure people want to know how much it actually costs to run a gym or run my gym. So I'll give you guys some numbers in terms of what it looked like. So for rental-based PTs, which is most of my network, you guys would pay anywhere between maybe 150 to 300 a week. Just the rent for this place, 76 square meters in a shopping center, was it 1,100 per week. So 1,100 per week, plus electricity, plus staff, plus if you need a manager, which I did have a full-time manager for a while. So a full-time manager, I think, was costing me about $1,000 a week, $1,200 a week. Electricity was maybe 50 to 100 a week. Insurance, or 50 to 100 a month. Plus, obviously, some people need to lease their equipment, so it's another expense. So, like, my break even was probably, like, if I had trainers plus the manager, plus the lease, the promotional stuff you need to pay for at the shopping center. So you've got to pay the lease, which goes up 4% every year. Plus, you've got to pay percentage of the variable outgoings, which is like the cleaners for the shopping center. Promotional stuff, which they didn't really promote anything for my business, but you have to have your share of promotional costing for the shopping center. So I think it was about 700 a month, I think. So to actually run this is a small boutique gym. It's probably 1700, 1800 a week, probably up to $2,000 per week, just to actually keep the place running. It doesn't include any wage from me, by the way. There was a long time that I wasn't even paying myself a wage. Couldn't pay a wage. There was sometimes where I didn't even have enough to pay the manager. So although from the outside it looks like I was crushing it, which, like, revenue-wise, it was great, but sometimes it got a little bit full on, because you've got to have all these things covered for expenses, and then if something happens, then it's on you. You can't just not pay your team, type of thing. So anyway, that's a bit of an insight into how much it actually costs to run. And like we were crushing it. Like I got that, I got my gym to do like 80 sessions a week. Just in that facility, I had 3 trainers running sessions at once, group classes, people using the gym 24/7. Not sure how many members we had, but the majority of them were, like 90% of them were doing PT with us. So at one stage I had a full-time manager who did PT as well, plus 2 other trainers, plus myself doing some sessions. So like we were doing well, but sometimes when you've got all those expenses, when you're trying to build up, sometimes it gets a bit tight with cash flow. But every business experiences that when they do scale. So no issues there. So let's get back to why I decided to close it down. So there's a couple of reasons here. Upon reflection, and hindsight is a wonderful thing here. Upon reflection, I feel like if I didn't, like I did say that I always wanted to own and run a gym, but if I told myself what it was going to be like, if I was to go back to myself now and say, this is what it's going to be like to run and operate a gym, I wouldn't have done it. Because what I was trying to avoid is having to rebuild my existing clientele. Because I had already lost 2.5, 3.5K per week in recurring income by having to be forced to give these trainers some clients because they had no idea how to sell for themselves or market themselves. I didn't want to lose another 2.5K per week because at that location we were doing 5, 6K per week in income. You can imagine what that's like when you take that big of a hit income wise and then have to fork out all that money for a gym, and then you're like, oh well, it's now going to cost you $2,000 a week to keep the place open. You know what I mean? So in hindsight, I feel like if I knew what it would be like, I probably wouldn't have done it. However, I don't regret the decision at all about buying. I bought my gym in cash, so I had no overhead of the gym itself, except the rent and actually the operating costs. It's not like I took out a loan for 150 grand to buy the gym and then was paying it off every month. That's not what it was like. So where was I? So let me go through the part where it started to fall down a little bit. So this is kind of related to my whole PT business, how I scaled from 0 to 6 locations, 12 trainers in a couple of years, 250 sessions per week. So what I had done essentially was I had huge key person risk. It was all reliant on me essentially. So I had my gym at Bethany. I had Jets. I think I had another 2 Anytime Fitness clubs. I had a second Jets club. I had a Snap Fitness. I think I had a Plus Fitness as well. Now, for a while there, it was just me doing the sales and marketing for a while. Now, I didn't do any sessions. I could cover people if they needed to, but for a long time there, I didn't do any sessions. And I had to bring on another salesperson, which I did. I brought on a guy called Shay, and he was doing sales for me, which is great. He was really good at sales. And then I tried to manage myself out of the business because I had Winter was about to be born, so my first child or my first daughter was going to be born, so I wanted to have some time off. So the whole process was trying to leverage me out of the business so I could have some time off with the family. So what began to happen was we had a lot of retention issues with clients. We were really good at getting new clients, but we couldn't keep clients long enough for us to build it up. So we got up to 250 sessions per week. But then we started to decline, like down to 220. So when you have that many clients, you can lose a lot of clients pretty quickly as well, but you can also gain a lot of clients pretty quickly. So if you think about it, if you've got 250 sessions, 150 clients, roughly, you lose 10% a month. That's 15 clients that you could lose every month if it's 10%, which is a good retention rate. So what began to happen was there wasn't enough accountability for the trainers, and we didn't have the required systems in place to sustain that growth even further. So what happened was Shay wasn't able to get all these locations, travel here, travel there, travel here. I wasn't able to do it because I was on my way out and I was trying to leverage my time, which I did do, but to the detriment of the growth. So what happened was Like for example, when we went to Plus Fitness, we were there for a few weeks, and I was like, look, we've got so much going on in these other locations, we can't do this. Meanwhile, I had issues with the studio manager that I hired at Birkenhead because I wasn't getting any return on investment. Not good at sales, not good at marketing, wasn't getting anywhere with lead generation. So we weren't growing. So I was paying an extra $1,200 a week for nothing, really. I wasn't getting the return there. And then one by one, I just started closing down locations. I was like, let's just simplify it. I need to simplify it. So I think I scaled too fast. I think if I took my time more and I created really good systems in place that looked after my people a bit better, I think it would have been okay. But in hindsight, if I had my own gym, there would have been no issues at all if I just had that location. If I was solely focused on my gym, I think to this day I'd still have it. I'd probably renew the lease for another 3 years, and I'd probably doing still pretty well. But because I've had that experience where I had to close location, and we're still doing fine, we're still profitable, but we just weren't growing. And then I was like, well, not really getting any income here. So then what I did was, I think when we got down to 4 locations, I decided to make my sales guy redundant. So I took over the sales again, and I just simplified it even more. I went down to 3 locations, and I just kept it simple. And I went down to 2, and I just had my gym and Jets. Jets is the club I'm still at today, and which is probably been the best club I've been at this whole time. I've been there probably almost 4 years now. I think I expanded into that club about 6 months into my PT journey, so coming up to 4 years. But in summary, because I wasn't at the club, I wasn't there enough to really enjoy it. And I just felt like there was more pressure and more stress than enjoyment and fulfillment. And that's probably the reason that I closed it down. To be honest, upon reflection, I think I had no control of it. Was just all hype, no systems, and no like proper vision. Like I had a vision, but it was all just made up. I think it was all just ego. That I was like, oh, I just want to open a gym, open up another one, open up another one, open up another one. And I think I'd be a lot more happier and more fulfilled if I just had like 1 or 2 locations that I just that bulletproof the system, leverage myself out, and just worked on the service a bit more. So in summary, there's a couple of reasons why I closed it. For one, probably like 12 after 2 years. So about 12 months before the lease ran out, I pretty much was like, oh, not really enjoying having it. Like it was good to have my own gym. It didn't really lose money until the last couple of months because I wasn't doing anything with it. It was always profitable, and then it was like break even for a while. So financially, it was okay, but it was just a lot of stress and pressure. That if I didn't have that, I'd be able to do other things better at the other locations. So yeah, that's one of the reasons. The other thing is I stopped taking on new clients for the last 12 months because I didn't need them, didn't want them. So I stopped all my Facebook ads, stopped all the marketing, stopped posting. If you see the Instagram page, I think the last post was 10 or 11 months ago, something like that. And we got new clients from referrals or word of mouth. And then the other thing is obviously I found more fulfillment in helping other personal trainers rather than helping people with their health and fitness. So my values have shifted a little bit. So health was one of my highest values for the last couple of years, but right now it's actually not in my top values at all. So for those who know me quite well, you guys might know, like I don't train that hard. Like I train 3 times a week, purely just to maintain. Like I don't really track any of my workouts. I just do what I like to do. But my values now is more coaching. So I love coaching, but I get more fulfillment out of helping people leverage their business, but also leverage their business to spend more time with their friends or family, and then helping people make more money gives me more fulfillment than helping people like lose some weight or get stronger. So I think I lost fulfillment. Well, I don't know if I lost fulfillment. I think perhaps all that pressure and stress changed my values slightly. So I shifted my focus, because I've been a business coach or a business mentor or PT mentor for coming up to 12 months now. And that's when I made the decision to close down the gym. So literally I've just been starting with the gym for the last 12 months or so, just to count down to the day that I could close it down and close that chapter, and then move on and go full on with my business coaching. So I'll still do PT face-to-face at Jets, only because I love the clients. It's a really good environment. Like, I mentor the other trainer there, Josh, who works for me, still does technically. So he was my trainer at my gym, and I mentor him now at Jets. So that's pretty much the reasons why. I don't have any regrets about owning the gym and scaling into what I did. Because it led me to get to the stage where, because I had all that success, I had so many people messaging me for advice and tips and whatnot, that naturally just became clear that, okay, cool, I clearly know what I'm doing here. So, what would it look like if I helped other people? And I helped a couple of people, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is really fulfilling. People got really good results. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. I could really change the industry. So once I kind of, got to the point where I was really enjoying doing the business coaching, I was like, cool, yeah, that's it. I'm going to close it down, scale back down to PT, and then, work more from home. So at this stage, I do only 3 days a week doing PT, and the rest is from home. And I find that's a really good balance. I can spend a lot of time with my family. So it's a really leveraged model that I've got now as well. And I don't have all the overhead. There's a couple of things. There's the overheads to actually run the gym, the fulfillment, and that you couldn't really work from home. You could if you fully leverage yourself out of the business, which I could have done, but it wasn't worth it for me with all the overheads that come with it. So that's it, team. That's the reason why I don't have the gym anymore. So no regrets, heaps of lessons learned, which I might share in a different episode, my top lessons learned. But hope that gives you some insight into what it's like running your own gym. And yeah, glad to be on this path now, helping some other personal trainers absolutely crush it in the industry. I know a lot of personal trainers tend to struggle to get clients or to retain clients and whatnot. So if I can help a few people with that, then it makes me really fulfilled and makes me quite happy. So that's it, team. Until the next episode, hope you have an awesome day, and I will talk to you in the next one.